Welcome to the Queen City, or as some people call it outside the Buckeye State, the city of Cincinnati, the third largest state in the great state of Ohio. It has a plethora of sports, or a rich sports tradition. In the NFL, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who, although are going through hard times right now, it is a team that surely has promise going into the future with guys like Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon leading the way, as well as Jesse Bates III headlining the young core. In baseball, we have the Cincinnati Reds, who just made the playoffs for the first time in the last 5 years. And this is an exciting squad that has one of the best rotations in all of baseball, as well as exciting guys like Suarez leading the batting order for the Cincinnati Reds squad. Even with college basketball, while not having a pro team yet, we have one of the most intense rivalries in all of college basketball. Cincinnati and Xavier, the crosstown rivalry. And shoot, we even have professional soccer now, as FC Cincinnati has recently joined the ranks of Major League Soccer right here in the Queen City as well. So when Adam Silver announced that 2 new teams were going to be joining the ranks of the NBA, and the Cincinnati city was there to get one of those teams, the city was excited. They're ready for pro basketball, and for the first time in 70 years, they're going to get pro basketball in the Queen City. So thanks to the hard work of Adam Silver, as well as the Queen City, for the first time in the 21st century, pro basketball returns to the Queen City, and the Cincinnati Royals are coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cincinnati Royals MyLeague expansion here on NBA 2K21. Let's get it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J. Gaming on the mic, coming at you guys with the newest series that is coming to the channel. Yes, sir, we are here with NBA 2K21, bringing the newest NBA franchise to the fold. And doing so, we are bringing back the Cincinnati Royals, who actually used to be an NBA team. In case you didn't notice from that introduction, we're bringing them back, and we're going to try to make them as successful as possible. But before we get into any of that, though, do me a favor and please smash that like button for me, as well as hit that subscribe button if you have to be brand new and like what you see here on the channel. It helps me grow this community that we got going here a lot. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the NBA Hall of Fame inductions. No surprises in here whatsoever. Vlade Divac being the most notable of the Hall of Fame inductees. Surprised that Kobe Bryant is not mentioned in here. Good job, 2K. You're doing a fantastic job, because I'm pretty sure he is in real life and he got inducted this year, but I mean, it's just a video game. What can we do? But that being said, though, we are actually not the only NBA team that is having its very first season. We may be the only new NBA team out east joining the Central Division, with teams like the Pistons, Pacers, Cavs, and Bulls. Most of them who I just mentioned are trying to rebuild. But Seattle Sonics are also going to be coming back as well, representing the Western Conference. They deserve an NBA franchise, and in order to have a nice even 32 teams, it makes sense to bring back the Seattle Sonics out in the Western Conference. So they will also be joining us as a expansion franchise. Now, next thing we got going here is the draft lottery. We are going to see if we can find out who is going to be in this NBA draft. We'll go ahead and just skip the results without mention. We'll see what we get. So we did get done with the NBA draft results. Of course, we are starting fresh in the off season, and no surprises here. The New York Knicks are a lot more kind, according to the NBA draft gods. In this game, they do get the #1 overall pick, followed by Phoenix at number 2 and the Cavs at number 3. Cincinnati Royals, in our very first draft, we will have a top 5 pick to work with. That's going to really help us out. We'll see what we can do moving forward. But now that we did know where our draft spot is, we need some guys on our team in order to get this coaching staff ready to go. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'll come back to you guys to see what kind of staff that we have put together. So it took a little bit of time, but we finally found 6 people that were willing to be part of our staff here in the great city of Cincinnati. You know, a lot of these guys that I chose, you know, basically high potential guys, because we're not going to be in a position to really compete no matter which way we try to go throughout the course of you know, the first couple of years of this MyLeague series that we got going on here. So Twin Olsen's going to be our CFO. He is a high potential guy, but not very good at business. Gregory Lee is just terrible. We just ran out of money. This was the only person that would be willing to sign for, you know, $150,000. He's probably going to be gone after a couple of years once we get a little bit more in the coffers. Head coach, the crown jewel of this entire staff, Michael Stauffer. I really love him because he's a pace and space guy. You know, I want to try to run fast because we're going to have athletes, but we're not going to be, you know, very good per se. So hopefully the goal is to be exciting, but to also suck at the exact same time. And then the assistant coach, Owen Taylor, he's going to help out as well. Our head scout guy is Mississippi Sherman, who could be a really good scout down the line, but not right now, not so much. Not our first choice, but it is what it is. And then same thing with Tyler Rush. He's an okay trainer, but he can become really good down the road as well. So that being said, really got to go ahead and, you know, focus in on scouting. And honestly, at this point, you know, we just got to put ourselves in a position to try to get the best guys possible. So I mean, it's going to be really straightforward here. Guys like James Wiseman, we're going to go ahead and, you know, plan a... Oh, this is a lot going on here. Hang on. This is more than I anticipated. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and, yeah, actually, all of this looks good. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do all these guys because these are the top people that we're going to be looking at when it's all said and done. One thing that we actually did discover during our scouting trip is that LaMelo Ball has a knee issue. So they suggest that we don't draft him, which, you know, I don't know if he even falls to us. He probably will go in the top 5. And same thing with Anthony Edwards. You know, I heard he's quite the committee. He's a character, but they're saying don't draft him as well because of his knee issues. With that being said, getting ready to go into the expansion draft. We won't have any players to protect because that would imply that we had a roster. I'll go ahead and get through this expansion draft, see who's going to be joining the squad. So here we go. The Royals are on the clock for the very first time, and there's actually a decent amount of options in here. I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting this, but I think what I'm going to go with is power forward Grant Williams. He has the highest potential out of everybody in this draft, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for potential guys that can get a lot better as they age. And, you know, Grant Williams, we're going to go ahead and draft him first. Not to mention, we also have a second pick that we can go with as well. Same thing, just trying to figure out who's going to be, you know, the best possible fit for us. And I'm really digging maybe a D'Anthony Mellon, you know, who is a 76 overall, which is kind of surprising. Although surprisingly, Bobo is also available. I know a Bobo would be a pretty interesting pick for say as well. Just looking through all of the options, but I think I'm going to go with D'Anthony Mellon, who's a 76 overall. Looks like a pretty solid player, and he's on a 1-year deal. So we're going to go ahead and welcome D'Anthony Mellon onto the squad. Welcome to the Royals. Yeah, beyond that, got our third pick coming up here. Just trying to figure out, you know, who's going to be the best fit for us going forward. You know, got a few guys that we can still go after here. I'm just trying to see who would, you know, be the highest overall, and I'm kind of in between either like a Chuck Diallo or Keita Bates-Diop. Now, I am a huge fan of his because he did go to Ohio State, and that's my favorite college basketball team. But I think we already picked up a power forward, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make it easier on myself. Although Bobo's actually also available too. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with Cheick Diallo. He has a little bit more experience as well, and he still, you know, fits that rebuilding timeline that we need. So gonna welcome him to the squad. Because now we'll get into our fourth pick in this draft. You know, gonna here look for either a, you know, maybe like a wing player, you know, so see if we can get like a forward, or, you know, trying to see if we can pick up a point guard as well. Although I don't really see any high potential point guards, you know, so we can go with either Dylan Weinwer, Deonzo Musa or Deontay Burden. And I think I'm going to go Dylan Weinwer because he hasn't really got much experience. He just joined the NBA this past year. So we're going to enjoy Dylan Weinwer on the squad. And finally, to round out the starting lineup, this is going to be who I'm looking for. I'm going to look at Kyle Guy. You know, he's definitely an experienced person, definitely has a lot in the NBA. He's on a two-way contract right now, but I see him, you know, getting plenty of playing experience at the NBA level, at least for our Royals in Season 1. So I'm going to round out our starting lineup with Kyle Guy, and then I'm going to do the rest of the draft on screen to show the rest of the roster that we got going here. Okay guys, so we just got done with the expansion draft, and this is what our roster is going to be looking like once we got done with that. We did end up picking a couple of veterans up, you know, just to help the young guys along just a little bit. Avery Bradley is a notable one of those vets. He's going to actually start point guard for us so that Kyle Guy, you know, can have, you know, somebody to learn from, because I like what he brings from a potential standpoint, but he has a lot of growing left to do, you know, and I think Avery Bradley would be a decent guy for that, as, you know, that 3-and-D player that I was talking about. Over at shooting guard, you know, I'm thinking so far, you know, with the rookie that we decided to bring in, DeAnthony Melton is going to be a person that we are going to try and, you know, build around, you know, with Melvin Frazier Jr. as well as Mia Oni as his backups. Over at small forward, Dylan Weinwer, I think he's going to start for us. It's between him and Deonzo Musa, and you know it's going to be a tough one. A lot of these guys look like default created 2K players, so we might be in for a pretty rough time, particularly in our very first season in the NBA. But it looks like Dylan Weinwer will probably start just because he brings at least a little bit more shooting to the table. Meanwhile, at power forward, Keita Bates-Diop, I think, is going to go ahead and start for us at that power forward position for right now. But we'll see what potential or like what happens in training camp to see if anyone moves or anything like that. And then finally, at the center position, Chuck Diallo is going to be our starting center, but we do have a Joakim Noah on the squad. He's our other veteran that we did decide to bring in. He'll be another nice veteran to help the other guys out at that center position, trying to help them grow and whatnot. So with that being said, the goal is to try to pick up a point guard in this draft. Don't know what we'll do, or if we can't get a point guard, we'll go with best available. We'll see what we can do here with this NBA draft. That being said, we are finally here. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the next Knicks go with, and unsurprisingly, James Wiseman, he's the first person off the board. You know, same thing. The Warriors actually got him at number 2 in real life. You know, so a great pick by the New York Knicks. Usually I don't say that in the same sentence, although I'm pissed that they got Obi Toppin in real life. But number 2 is LaMelo Ball, and he's consistent, at least best point guard in the at least in this draft. Although his knee issues, according to our thing, was a little concerning, but look, he should have a good NBA career as well. We'll see what the Cavs go with here. Cleveland Cavaliers. They get Obi Toppin, who I think the Cavs should have gotten. But I'm biased as I'm from the great city of Dayton, Ohio. With that being said, Obi is going to be a Cav, at least in this series. We'll see what the Minnesota Timberwolves pick up here before our first draft pick of our franchise history. And we actually get a trade offer. We could move up one selection to pick up a first round pick and 2020 second round pick. I don't think I want to give up this much just for, you know, one slot. I don't think it's worth it personally, so I'm actually going to go ahead and drop it, and we're going to let Anthony Edwards go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just like in real life, he will be a Timberwolf in this series as well. So all that being considered, for the very first time, we are on the block, and you know, I'm just looking at guys that are available. You know, we could get guys like Tyrese Haliburton, as well as Killian Haynes. We'll see who else is also available though. Lots of good choices, although man, it's gonna be a really tough one. But I'm thinking this guy Tyrese Haliburton from Iowa State. I think this will be the move. This is a guy I think we can build around, or at least be a good solid prospect, and then maybe in the next draft, get our superstar per se. Yeah, I think this is the move right here. I think I am gonna go ahead and go to the second round, see what happens. So we are now here in the second round, and Josh Green's actually still available on some boards. They're listed as a first round pick, and he's his draft projection, most of them didn't think he would fall this far, but we're gonna actually pick up Josh Green as well. He's only 18 years old, and so that just leaves us maybe picking up, doing some trading, or releasing one of our current shooting guards. With that being said, though, both Tyrese Hilberton and Josh Green, I think I am going to sign to the squad. Both of them can bring some good things to the table. He's going to be like a 73 overall, and then Tyrese Hilberton 74. Both of these guys can definitely play right away, so I'm going to go ahead and sign both of them, and then we'll see what we can do in free agency. Speaking of free agency, though, we do have some team/player options that we have to deal with, and I think a first move we're going to make, get rid of Mia Oni. He doesn't really fit. He's not as good as the other shooting guards, so he's going to go. We're going to keep the other free guys, and then just not worry about free agent signings, because we're just going to go ahead and build the rest of our squad around the 15 players that we currently have. So this is now what our final roster is going to be looking like. It seems as Tyrese Hilberton is going to be at least the main backup point guard for Avery Bradley, although I wouldn't be surprised if our first round rookie does get some playing time to work with as we progress through the season. Only 19 years old, he's going to learn a lot from Avery Bradley. I'm excited about that partnership. Shooting guards, though, Josh Green is also going to be the primary backup, a second round pick. We're going to see what he has early often, playing behind DeAnthony Melton. Everything else is going to stay the same. Dylan Weimer will probably start small forward. Keita Bates-Diop at the power forward position, and then finally at center we have Chuck Diallo. Now, one notable change that I will make is that I won't be using actual draft classes. I'm actually going to auto-generate rookies for each season, and the reason that I'm doing that is to give more power to you guys. I want you to be the players that make up these draft classes, so I am going to have a template in the description as well as in a pinned comment. If you want to be a custom player in the NBA, just let me know down in the comments with the template mentioned down below, and I will make it happen. I will get you guys in for future seasons as well. So that's going to be a thing. So that's why we're going to always auto-generate rookies, so that you guys can get more say about being in the NBA. So with all that being said, next episode we will play our very first game in Cincinnati Royals history. We are going on the road to play against the Memphis Grizzlies, led by John Morant and Jaren Jackson. It's going to be a heck of a game. It's going to be a heck of an episode. So I'll tell you this, guys, if you are excited about this series coming to the John J Gaming channel, do me a favor and please smash that like button, as well as hit subscribe if you happen to be brand new. This is John J Gaming on the mic, signing off, and also hoping that you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.